Novasel's here running for county supervisor.
Correct.
But you're already there.
I am. I've been there for one term, 4 years. I'm asking to be reelected for another 4 years.
Yeah, and is that it? Like an 8-year term? Is that what it runs?
Well, yeah, interesting to say that. We do have something on the ballot
I thought
to
I
increase
saw that.
the term, but yes, just for one more term.
Yeah, because I just did the sample ballot that they send you, which is really cool that they do that. I like that, so you can go through. But I feel like what it does for so many of us. I mean, you're so involved in it, and you're sitting in there and you're reviewing all this. Yeah. You just look at it all. Like there must have been 5 or 6 different things with cannabis.
Right. There's 5 cannabis questions.
5, yeah, and you're just like, God, it's hard to sort it all out.
It is, and that's why I really am asking everybody, make sure you look at that sample ballot and really study it, because there's 8 issues just from the county, and that's not including what the state has, and if you're in the city, what the city has. Right. So there's a lot of information to absorb.
There is, and I think it's cool that they give us that, but then sorting through it, and it feels more important than ever, which I'm so glad for most of all people to get out and vote, right?
Absolutely, that's what we're asking. Please get out and vote. Every year, every time we have an election, it just seems like less and less people are getting out.
Is that right? Yeah. Do you have a sense of what percentage of people vote in El Dorado County? Well,
out of the people that are eligible to vote, only about 50% of the people actually register to vote. And out of that, given if it's a slow year, if there's not a presidential election, we're lucky if we get 30 or 40% of the people.
So you're saying half the people that can vote are registered, and of that half, it's
right.
Gosh.
Yeah. I have about 33,000 in my district. I have about 19,000 registered voters.
Isn't that crazy?
And out of that, maybe 10,000 will vote.
And isn't the big issue for us here in Tahoe, South Tahoe, El Dorado County, for us to get that money, because you guys are based out of Placerville.
That's right.
That must be the big issue, to get the money up here for the things we need, roads and schools or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's really important. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is how much money does come back here. We have a jail, we have all kinds of a health department, all kinds of programs up here that you won't see anywhere else around the lake. So we do get money, but it's important to keep fighting for it. And I've been fighting very hard. And when you talk about roads, I've been fighting really hard to get extra money for our roads up here. In fact, I have gotten another $2.5 million just recently.
$2.5 million.
Yeah,
crazy
for our local
numbers.
Roads. It is, but it takes a lot of money to be able to keep our infrastructure moving and make sure everyone's healthy and take care of it.
And then speaking of roads, I know you were very involved last year with a lot of meetings and talking about the issues in Myers of getting people in and out of Tahoe. I mean, we've got this little tiny bottleneck, and we're getting more people here, and it's affecting communities around, and it's like,
it is. And
what do you do?
It's hard. With the advent of the GPS system, people, and they advertise it when you go to buy a car. They'll say, hey, we've got a system that's going to take you into all these little neighborhoods to get you around the traffic. Great idea. The problem is that it congests the neighborhood so badly that we're having issues, and so it's how do you address that? So I started a couple years ago talking with about 12 different agencies, including CHP, our sheriffs, city police. What do we do? How do we make this manageable? And it's a difficult answer. It really is, because how do you stop? You can't black out people's GPS. So people are going to do it. So what we're doing is what we have is a new system in place. You may have seen it. We're calling it the nudge, and we're asking people. It kind of makes it look like the road is closed, and it kind of nudges people back onto the highway. You can't close the road legally. We can't close the road.
It's a public road.
But we can kind of hopefully get people moving, and it's helped. It's been helpful, but it's not the solution. The bottom line is we have, as you say, a bottleneck. It's called our pass.
I know. It's just no way around that.
It's 2-lane. It's not going to ever be 4-lane. So,
don't say ever, but it's a long ways from it. I agree.
Right. So what we're trying to do is honestly, have people help by driving less. Either get in.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and so that's the big issue, because you only have so many cars you can put on that pass.
And then again, just from my perspective, I was a bit confused. I filled out that sample ballot that I kept looking to see the Measure T, because it's such a big, but it's not in our county.
Not a county issue.
Is it something that will come to our county, likely?
Could possibly. It could possibly.
But you don't see that anytime soon. Certainly not in this election, of course.
Right. What we've been doing countywide, which I took the lead on doing, was having a lot of meetings and talking to the public and our staff, figuring out what can we do to make sure that our neighborhoods are peaceful. And what we're doing is using enforcement as our first defense.
It seems like just the most practical thing.
Yeah, and that's really, I think in today's society.
Does enforcement mean just using our sheriff? sheriffs, or is there like talk of getting someone else that does that, so we're not tying up our sheriff's department with?
Oh, our sheriffs are happy to do this, honestly.
Is that right, yeah?
Yeah, the issue is how do you make it enforceable?
Right.
If they go into a home and there's 20 people there and only 5 raise their hand saying they're staying there, our old policies would be that he couldn't do anything.
Right.
Now we have a max amount of people. We just didn't put this into place.
It can be in your house.
Can be in our house after 10 o'clock from 10 to 8 a.m. If it's a maximum is 5 people, then that's all you can have there.
Yeah.
So, and that helps our sheriffs to be able to enforce those rules.
And let me ask you this. What makes you do this? I mean, really. You and I hung out at Mike Perrin's wedding, and it was so fun to hang out and get to know your husband, too.
Yeah, thanks.
But that was like almost the first thing. I've known you for 20 years, and I was just like, Sue, like politics just seems so rough these days. Like, what is it that motivates you to stay in there, really?
Well, because I do think I have a place, and the discourse that you hear right now, it needs to stop.
Yeah.
And if I can do anything else right now, we need to stop this hate and this fear and this ability for people. Yes, free speech is fine.
Yeah.
But when it comes to civility, we need to get that back. If I have one thing that's important to me in this election, is let's get the civility back.
Right. I think in all of our politics right now, it's just like we're so polarized right now, and I think there's so many of us that with me, like I think one direction, my friends think the complete. But we get along, we do stuff.
Right.
Like we should be doing that in politics.
And that's what I enjoy about politics. I enjoy the idea of having people with different opinions coming together and coming up with an idea that everybody may not love, but something that we can compromise and work forward on. And that's why I love the job. That's why I love the job. That's why I want to continue the job.
There you go. Sue Novasel running for her second term of county supervisor. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat.
Give a handshake there. Sue Novasel. We'll take a break and we come back. Your 7-day forecast. Stay with us.